song. But now for real, I came on here to do a review of the 4th episode of SWV and XSCAPE. And I had did this video hours ago, but something happened with my phone. My phone has been tripping lately. Like sometimes the volume on my phone automatically just goes down by itself, so I have to actually go and turn the phone back up. And then did the video and everything, and as it was converting the video, it was like I received a message, can no longer convert this video, please re-upload. I'm like, oh my goodness. So my phone has just been jacked lately, like, and I'm so freaking tired of Android effing up. I'm pretty sure, you know, any brand could F up, but I need a start using iPad. I'm tired. Android is convenient, it's affordable, I love it, but the things I go through with it. And starting tomorrow, I would have only had this phone 3 months. I've only had this phone for 3 months. The last phone I had was LG, and that thing was so defective. I was like, oh my god, yeah, I gotta level up my cheddar and do better and get better phones, okay? And then the camera, I am waiting on so I can order the cartridges to put into the camera so I can use my camera, okay? But enough of these defective phones. So SWV chapter episode 4, right? So the episode starts out because they were confused about, okay, are we gonna do co-headlining or are we just gonna have one group headlining? And I felt like, why was there an issue? It should have been co-headlining. If you're doing everything together, just co-headline, you know. And so Taj and Tamika Scott, they're at this restaurant, and they're discussing how they want to do, you know, the show and everything, SWV and XSCAPE together, how they want things to go. And come to find out, Tamika Scott, that's her regular restaurant that she goes to all the time with her husband. That food looked so good, okay? So I moved out of the East Coast 2 years ago, but I would love to go to Atlanta one day. But first, I want to go to LA. I've never been to LA. I was going to go to LA first, but this is my plan B stop. So right now, I'm in my plan B stop. I was like, if I don't make it to LA, I'm going to live in Phoenix. That's where I'm living right now. I love it. The housing's affordable. But I want to get to LA. I want to vlog in LA. I want to eat wine and dine up in LA. And then my next stop is I want to go to Atlanta. And then I want to go to my dad's place of birth, which is Antigua. So this show is taking place in one of the places that I would like to visit one day. So the clip jumps, and I believe that we're now at Taj's condo. And funnily enough, so you know those little like tiny meat boards that you see at the supermarket? And it's those small round slices of meat like prosciutto, salami. I don't particularly like one meat I don't like. Oh my god, what is the name of it? I think it's is it capicola? No, it's prosciutto. I don't like prosciutto. It has a very strong taste. I cannot take it. I cannot take the taste of prosciutto. So it could be like little slices of prosciutto, salami. I love me salami. I used to eat salami sandwiches. Bologna is not as tasty as salami. Bologna has like a slightly funny taste depending on the brand. Oh my god, I used to hate bologna sandwiches. So with these little meat trays, but it's only like 2 of these little small trays, and I felt like one tray couldn't even fill one person because that's how small the trays were. So Lily is like, you know, what's these little meat trays? And then when she tasted it, she didn't like how it tasted. And then they had like some wine. But Lily was saying, listen, you're having a meeting with like about 7 women because XSCAPE was on their way there. That's not enough for 7 women because it was these tiny, like, I would say like the trays could fit, like my hands are small, the trays could fit on my hand. One tray could fit on my hand. I have small hands, okay? So I'm just looking like, what the what? That's what you're going to serve to 7 women? Like, what? That's not even a snack. I don't even like some of those charcuterie boards. You know, I might eat some white grapes. I don't like red grapes as much. And also, I don't like red wine. Now, you see, if I was there at that little meeting, I probably wouldn't have had nothing to eat or nothing to drink if she only had red wine. And red wine, you know, it's made from red grapes, so it tastes nasty, just like how red grapes taste a little nasty. So, you know, but I'm glad that she had the white wine there, because white wine and dry white wine, what? So that's the move. So I'm glad she had some wine there beside them little meat trays. So then they get there and Tiny starts laughing at the little meat tray. She was like, who did the little meat tray? I'm just sitting there like, Taj. So Lily was like, you know what, Taj don't need to be in charge of nobody's food. And I'm just like, I know that's for damn sure. So they're there and they're talking, and Coco gets right to the chase, and I don't blame her. She's like, okay, so what are we doing, ladies? Are we headlining or we co-headlining? Because I noticed that they're sitting there and nobody's talking about the headlining or co-headlining. And I'm like, that's the biggest issue that needs to be handled first. That's how I would do it. So I'm down with Coco, like, yes, like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, are we co-headlining or what? So then Tasha, even though she's not my cup of tea, I have to agree with her on this one because she hurried up and said co-headlining. And I was like, exactly. Co-headlining, right? It's a little chilly in here, so I got this little, my Sherpa on over my shirt. The temperature is starting to rise. I'm gonna have to zip this thing down. I could actually feel the temperature starting to rise, which I love. Warm temperatures. What? I could probably like move to my dad's country because you know he's from the islands and just be in paradise. Hot all year round. I know they have the water, so they might get breezes from the ocean and stuff. But even with the breeze, I would just be chilling in that warm weather. Like, ah! So anyway, can't wait to get my passport and whatever. I've been on a plane before. Did I have a passport? It's been so long. I had a passport before because I shipped out, you know. I had shipped out because I had wanted to see if I wanted to stay. I had shipped out to the Army. I wanted to see, like, is this job for me or not? And it wasn't for me. I came right up out there, like, a couple of months later. I was like, no, I'm not doing all that. It's not worth it, and I don't think I'm gonna get that much respect anyway. You know, right? And I was living in New York at the time. I hadn't moved out of New York yet, and I shipped out. First, I shipped out to South Carolina, which is where my mother was born. That's where she was born. And then I shipped out to Texas. Texas is hot, man. That's another place I want to go. But there's a certain thing you have to do when you're in the Army. You can't just leave right away because you can actually get prosecuted. You have to get clearance. You have to clear a unit. So I couldn't just the day that I was like, this ain't for me. I couldn't just leave. I had to like go through steps and clear my unit, which I didn't mind. I felt like I was in jail. Like, I was making a good amount of money, but I didn't have, because it's the Army, it's the military, so I felt like I was in lockup. I felt like I was making money, but I couldn't really do much with it because I was constricted and confined, and I was just like, This is a sidebar from the show. I was constricted and confined, and you don't have freedom, you know. And plus, I knew that going in, but I didn't think it would affect me as much when I went in. So I was just like, oh, hell no. Nah, like, the uniform is cool and whatever. I went in there as an E2. So you first supposed to go up in there as E1, because I had college credits, I went up in there as an E2. But I had to be honest with myself. A couple of us cleared our units at the same time. And you were allowed to go at a certain date. But of course, the Army had to, even though you're waiting to clear your unit, you still have to participate in activities until the day you leave. So I had to go on these stupid little trips I didn't feel like going on. It was very annoying. I had to go to the freaking aquarium. The aquarium is the most boring place on earth. I can't go. Zoos or aquariums, boring. I mean, if I have kids, just to let them run around, but. So I had to go to the freaking aquarium with them, even though I was leaving. I was just like, why do I have to go on a trip when I'm leaving? Because it don't feel like a trip when you don't want to be there. When you don't want to be there no more. I got my little dishonorable discharge and I cleared and I was out. Never again. I can't do it. Whoever's still there, more power to them. But no. So they're there, and Tamika had this idea about horses. They should arrive on horses, and Lily had a bad experience. Her horse wasn't cooperating one time in one of their videos, SWV videos back then. So she had to end up on a pony. So she's like, no, I don't want to be on no horse. And I feel her. I was in a sleepaway camp one time, and these crazy little girls was laughing because, or my campmates, because my horse I had pulled it to a stop, and then something spooked it, and it started acting crazy. So I'm holding on. So and then the camp rangers, they helped get me off the horse, and they put me on a different horse because we were supposed to do horseback riding. It was sleepaway camp, Honeoye, Honoy Falls in New York. And to them bratty little girls, how y'all doing? How about asking me if I was okay? What's up? My name is Parisha. Y'all remember me? Hey, Alicia. Remember it was Christmas in July. You can go under my comments if you ever see this video. Hey, Alicia. Did that boy ever go out with you? He probably didn't. He thought he was better than everybody. I'm just giving my experience of what I seen at the camp. He ain't go out with nobody. So I'm just doing a little video. I'm just recalling my experience as a child. And yes, I am okay. I made it off that horse. Thanks for asking. Ooh, that sleepaway camp was something else. But I'm not like scared of horses. I'll still get on another horse. It's just sometimes animals get spooked. So I understand that. So it don't really scare me. It was just like, dang, this thing stopped jumping around. So they was like, the idea is so corny. And Tamika was like, it's cute corny. I had to laugh at that, right? So we get to another scene, and XSCAPE is rehearsing. No, I'm sorry. Before that, Coco brings her handsome son to the session. He is a splitting image of Coco. I'm like, oh my god, like twins, you know. So he decided that he wanted to be in the music business. He no longer wants to do dentistry. I'm so glad that he figured out what it is that he actually wants to do, and before he spend more time in a school or in a course that he is no longer interested in. So I'm glad he figured it out. Like, this is what I want to do, And of course, Coco wanted him to stay in school, which I understand, because you need something to fall back on, because life is hard out here. But he made up his mind. He was like, because he said he wasn't happy. After a while, he became unhappy being in that school. So at the session, Candy is there also, and LaTocha's there, and Candy's asking LaTocha, okay, so have you figured out what song you want to do? You know what song you want to start with? And every answer LaTocha is given, it's just like, nope, nah, no. Oh, I haven't put much thought into it. So Candy got mad, was like, she hasn't been liking LaTocha's attitude lately, right? So then we get to the next scene. XSCAPE is actually rehearsing, but LaTocha's not there. So Tamika Scott is saying, well, guess what? My sister's not coming, right? So then Candy got mad, understandably, because they're supposed to be doing the show. And Candy was like, you know what? She's like, LaTocha is acting like she's Gladys Knight and we're the Pips, right? Why do we keep allowing her to, do us like this? And I'm like, dang, like. And then Candy was like, she didn't even show up to sound check. And I was like, damn. The girl didn't even show up to the sound check, And then the scene ends, the episode ends right there with Candy being mad about, how LaTocha is, treating the group and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you why this girl did not show up to sound check, alright? In my opinion, it would have been a little more decent for Tasha to let these people know that she couldn't make it to the sound check or any more rehearsals. Because she has now landed her gospel record deal. Like, girl, did you have enough decency to tell these people that, Instead of just being MIA for the rest of their sessions, not showing up and people wondering where you were. And, you're missing to the point where your sister Tamika Scott has had to, like, sing all of your parts because you're not there. And those parts need to be sung. Like, come on, girl. So LaTocha mentally has not been part of XSCAPE for a long time. Like, she's in the session talking about she don't know what she want to do. She hasn't thought much about it. How can you think much about what XSCAPE and SWV is going to do on stage when you're focusing on creating your own album? Of course, you don't have time to think about, singing songs for 2 different projects at once. You're trying to focus on yourself because you have your own gospel deal now. And mentally, she's no longer part of, in my mind, no longer part of Escape. But now that she's not showing up to these sessions and she's not showing up to, I'm just like, well, she's no longer in the group. Like, her mind is just not there. But now she's physically not there. She's no longer in the group at this point. In my head, I'm like, yeah, because now she's on her you know, her gospel deal. She is officially out the group. Like, come on, you know. So I don't know if they've kicked her out the group yet or if they voted her out. You know, but I believe that she has just silently taken herself out the group. In my mind, she's just no longer part of the group. She's not participating with the group. She's not doing anything with them. So it's like, girl, you're not even in the group no more. But you could have at least told them, you know. And I think she was trying to see if her record deal came through. So I guess she was like hanging Escape on a string just in case, you know, her record deal didn't come through. But that's not right. Like, if you want to be on your own, then be on your own. Don't leave these people hanging, you know. But I do want to say this: Tasha's a beautiful woman. She has a beautiful voice. Even though I don't agree with the, I'm sorry. Let me hold the phone up because even though I don't agree with the way she's doing things, I do wish her good luck. I do wish her good luck in her, you know, a solo music project. With that beautiful, I just want to see how I look in the camera, girl. But with that solo project, I know she's gonna go far. I know she's gonna go so far. Cause her freaking voice is amazing. Oh my god, that music video that she did, and she's in this dress, and I'm just like, first I was like, I didn't know she was part of Escape because I wasn't really paying attention to them over the years. I was like, ooh, who is this? She has a beautiful voice, y'all. Despite her evil shenanigans and her stealing money from her sister. Oh, next video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. Okay, you know what? I thought my eyeshadow would show up, but it doesn't. Anyway, stay tuned for another kicker. Like, oh my god.